Today we're breaking down the bull and bear case on this week's market, guys, including dick pics, Tesla's debt, and everything else in between. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back, my passive income investors. Today we're breaking down some of the general market news, all the crazy stuff going on in today's Monday market recap, guys. So we're going to hop right into this. And if you are new to the investing community, guys, or you're looking for passive income sources, the stock market is an incredible way to do this. And these are the metrics and things that I look at every Monday that I thoroughly kind of just scan through over an hour and a half in the morning. So the news that you might be getting as this is posted might be a little different, changes day to day, but we're going to just hop right into this, guys, taking a look at the general markets first with the S&P, the Dow, the TSX, guys. These are all the general markets that I always pay attention to, because if they're usually in the green, so is your portfolio, especially if you own ETFs and things of that nature. So we're looking at, basically it's been trading flat, but trying to push to the upside, guys. Every time we get a little bit of green, it seems to pull back down, mostly for the last hour and a half, 2 hours into this Monday trading day, whereas we went in Friday in the red. The bears were winning. If you ever check out the forums right now, they are lit on fire, and it's so interesting to listen to all the bear and bull cases. It's just kind of a battle of two like bipolar partisans, guys. It's literally how the market works. It's literally like the bears and the bulls might as well just be bullish. Like, it's just literally the bipolarness of the whole market is hilarious. I want to look at gold and the Canadian dollar, and you should probably take a look at your dollars as well. I'm going to explain that, what I mean by that, in a sec. But gold in general, guys, has been trending to the upside, mainly flat to the upside kind of today. But it's kind of funny because if you own gold in US dollars, you haven't had much going on for you. But if you've lived in any other country other than the US, guys, you're up probably quite a bit on your gold position. You're probably almost getting into the positives, even if you bought it in the highs from a few years ago when it was peaking. So maybe check that out, guys, because every other currency right now, it's just crazy how much gold is actually up. On the same topic, guys, just to make this correlate a little better, this is why I want to talk about currency as well. When your currency fluctuates, considering everything's pretty much compared to the US dollar, currencies are a hard thing for people to understand because you can't compare them to any other asset other than another dollar to another country. So most people, because the USD, it's the dominated dollar globally, so everyone tends to compare the currency to that dollar. So if we're looking at the Canadian dollar, which is something I check on all the time, especially if I'm buying US equities, US stocks, because if I buy when the US dollar is on a dip and it goes back up, I end up losing money because I could have bought more shares with the dollar being up rather than down. Right now, the Canadian dollar is trending basically flat to the downside, but we've been seeing a little bit of green over the last little while for it, guys, but right around that 75-cent mark compared to the US dollar. So essentially, if it went down to 72 cents and you bought a US stock and it went up to 75, well, you'd literally, on every single dollar, you'd have to work out the 3-cent difference that you're losing in your buying power going up. Same vice versa. If you can buy when the dollar is up, guys, and you get a good US stock when it's cheap and the dollar trades down 3 cents and then the stock goes up, like, your position increases quite substantially. This works in every country, especially if you're buying anything like Chinese stocks. Really pay attention to that, guys. It's something a lot of people don't, but I check it every single week. Now, looking at Bitcoins, Bitcoin's a lot of bad news coming out about them now because essentially they've been trading to the downside and flat. Every time there's a bull case with it, it seems to have a big dip, but it's been seeing some green over the last couple days, guys. But lately, the full trend seems to be still straight to the downside, whereas again, with the markets, we are hitting these Fibonacci levels, which is essentially when everyone's trying to play these charts because they think we're hitting a crucial point where if the stocks don't keep going up, we're going to break a trend line and continue probably lower. I don't know. I don't play for that. I literally only play the markets for finding good deals on good companies I plan on holding for a long time to create that passive income, guys. But let's take a quick look at some of the individual stocks, shall we? So this is where things get really interesting. Weirdest news, man. Only in the stock market. I love it. So it's a little bit different. We're going to start with Amazon and the famous dick pic that is being threatened to be released. And I find this so odd and just ridiculous in itself. It kind of reminds me of when like Elon Musk was puffing up on the Joe Rogan podcast. To me, I don't care about people's personal lives, to be honest. Honestly, if one of these guys were like an at-home heroin head, and nobody knew about it because they just kept so controllable, but they could still show up and do their job, I honestly just, I don't care what you do personally, guys. I don't care about how many people you're sleeping with. It honestly doesn't faze me because it really doesn't come down to the fundamentals of the company. So long as you're there doing the job that is required and you're doing it with some form of resilience, I don't really care what your personal life is like. But I think this is absolutely hilarious because I don't know how much you can believe in this news. Tabloids really push this stuff well far and beyond to get an actual story from maybe Jeff himself. You might get something that's quite different from what everyone else is saying. And honestly, I don't know how you can take a photo of your dick pic and somebody know, maybe your ex-wife is like, oh, boom, or the lady you were having an affair with while you were with your wife is taking that photo, guys, and showing it to the media. But at the same time, what'd you do? Take a photo of it with your face in it where you're doing like this up-down look so it can just catch it? Like, how do they know it's yours? She could have just grabbed it off any website, guys. I don't get it. So if I was Jeff Bezos, I'd either be like, well, why the hell was I taking photos with my face in it? Maybe mirror shots. I don't know, guys. But if you're going to send those kind of photos, make sure your face isn't in it, especially if you're Jeff Bezos, guys. Like, come on. A little ridiculous. I haven't looked at Amazon stock today, but I mean, I don't really think this could affect the stock, and if it does, it's freaking hilarious. It's a shame that he went from the richest man, and he's probably going to lose. You know what? I'm going to stay out of the affair stuff. I'm not tabloids. I'm going to stay out of the affair stuff for the moment, guys. We're going to take a quick look at Apple. Apple has this really jolly fixation around it right now because essentially it's on such a dip and it's down so much. Everything seems to be priced in for any negative news that could come, so the media is really generally jolly if you look up any news on the company, and a lot of people pushing it right now. Tesla's got some major debt coming up, unfortunately, that has to be paid, and essentially the way they're looking, they need their stock price in the next week to get to a certain level, which seems very hard. Like, it's got to move $50 to the upside to help pay this debt, or it's going to be a little bit more expensive for them. There's a lot of videos floating around YouTube. You can look those up for yourself. Tesla's got a lot going on. They've got factories trying to be built in China. It's really, really crazy for them at this moment. So the more they can get this debt paid off for the time being, the better off they're going to be. And we're talking, I think it's like in the 400 plus millions, guys. We're talking about a lot of money to keep this stuff moving, but I think they'll be able to pull it off. It'd be nice to see their price go up a little bit more. And today we're seeing that. Actually, we're up like 10, 13 something dollars on the day. I'd have to check the stock. I'll throw it up on the screen, but from last I checked, it was up quite a bit today in and of itself. And last but not least, our favorite drug stocks, guys, in the HMMJ, mostly on the downside after seeing that incredible rally from last week. Like, I mean, they were on a run for a little while, but everything else seems to be more or less flat or on the downside if you're looking at like your tobacco stocks, Constellation Brands. But I think Constellation was up a little bit today, but it's been doing fairly stagnant in and of itself, unless you bought that dip a couple weeks ago. It mainly shot up $15 and has been holding flat ever since. But that's a really quick Monday market recap, guys. If you did enjoy this, I'll try and do this every Monday. Slap a like on it because this is all the metrics I usually look at, and if it's something that interests you, I will continue to share it so you can just come here instead of digging around for it all yourself. But stay cool, stay awesome, guys, and I'm going to see you very soon.